Hello everyone, my name is Siddharth Rawat and today I'm going to take you through a short video on how to process data in Apache Hive using a Cloudera virtual machine and a Hadoop file system. For this, we'll be using a sample database of driver timesheets where we will be calculating the total distance traveled by a particular driver with the driver name and driver ID. I'm in the Cloudera virtual machine right now, and I've already downloaded the sample database. Now we'll go to our Hive browser and try to update and upload this database onto our SDFS. For this, we go to Files and we go to Cloudera and select Upload Files, select Files, and then select these two files, drivers and timesheet, and upload it onto our Hadoop file system. Once this file is uploaded, we will go to the Hive query editor. The Hive query editor provides a SQL-like environment which helps in playing around with the data manipulation, data application, and using this we will be continuing our video. First, we will create a table called temp drivers and pass a column value called string and store it as a text file in our Hadoop file system. Let's go ahead and run this command. Once we run this command, we can see in the table section that we have a temp underscore driver with a single column called string. Now, the next step would be to import the the driver database into the temp underscore driver table. For keeping the video short, I have already copy pasted all the commands that we will be using for data manipulation using Hive on these two tables and then calculating the final output. Now we load the temp underscore drivers with the driver CSV that we just downloaded, and we'll run this command. As we can see, we gave an invalid path, so we'll just edit our path and give the right path for where we saved our database, and run the query again, and the query was successfully run, and we overwrite on the table temp underscore driver. Now we want to see if the file was actually written on temp underscore driver. For that, we will use the select command, and once we run the select command, we can see that the data has been imported from the driver.csv. Next, we create a table drivers where we want to take the data out of the temp underscore driver and store it in the drivers table. For this, we will use a create table command with columns driver ID, name, SSN, certified, and wage plan. We run this query, and we can see that another table would have been created in our Hive database, which is temp underscore drivers, drivers. Now we insert override table drivers with using the regular extract commands. In this regular extract command, we can see that this string over here tells us that this indicates that we should start with a string, and the string is not including comma. Not including comma is ignored. That can have 0 or more occurrences until the next comma is encountered, which is at most one time. Now this whole expression is copied once for driver ID, and for name it is run twice, and same for SSN, location, certified, and wage plan for each column value in temp underscore drivers. Once we have run our override commands, we'll check what the data is loaded in the drivers table with the select command. And you can see that we have the driver ID, driver name, driver SSN, driver certified, and driver wage plan in our drivers table. Now moving forward, we'll create another table, which is a temporary timesheet table, using the create table command. Once we create it, you can see here that there will be one more table added called temp_timesheet. We will then load our timesheet.csv into this temp_timesheet table. Once it is loaded, we'll just use the select command to check if the data has been loaded to the temp_timesheet table, and it will display the top 10 inputs. Next, we'll create a timesheet table with driver ID, week, hours, miles logged column. Once this table is created, we'll again insert use the override table command using the regular expression extract and extract the values from temp_timesheet to the timesheet table. Once the override table commands complete, we will then check if the data is loaded in the timesheet table, and it will select and show us the first 10 rows of the table. Next, we will use the select command and the group by command to get the total, the sum of hours logged and the total number of miles logged by driver by the driver ID. Once we run this command, and we can see that we have the driver ID with its total number of hours logged and miles that were driven. The hours logged was the first column and the miles logged is the second column. Now we will run the final part of the query, where we are going to join two tables and try to map the driver ID with the driver name so that we have the final output. For this, we will be using a join command and a group by command. And once this query is executed, we now have a driver ID associated with a driver name, which shows the total hours and the total miles. This completes our video. Hope you enjoyed watching it. Thank you.